think you're getting lighter.
It better be.
Or I'm getting stronger. What was that?
Scratch my nose.
I thought you were smelling your fingers. Shoulder pads replaced.
Oh, it is kind of hot. No, the sun's coming out. Look at there. Hurrah. Thank you, God. No beanie today.
Here we go.
To the lake.
Snap and turn this down.
I go glove free today. I have them in my pocket though, just in case.
You have them in your pocket just in case.
We had a request here recently by one of our subscribers named Bill. Hey Bill, how you doing? About our background story and what led us to buy the Can-Am Spyder and a few things like that. And in order to answer that question, I think that what I want to do is go a little further back into Coach Vic and my life. First off, when I met Coach Vic, I was a widower. I had a relatively successful career working for the Federal Aviation Administration. Was doing well, my children were small, and my first wife got breast cancer and died. I was a pretty miserable guy at the time, I will tell you. I had been very athletic, had run marathons, and was an athlete in high school. But I was a pretty sad dude, and met Coach Vic. In fact, we met online. And I met this girl, man, and she was amazing. And after I met her, I found out real quick that I wanted to be with her. So the wheelchair, Coach Vic was an avid runner, superior athlete in high school, and went to college on a track scholarship. And when she was about 23 years old, a drunk driver ran a stop sign and ripped that athleticism dream away from her. She didn't let it slow her down though. She continued to race and work hard, wheelchair race and hand cycle race, because she's a survivor. But a little bit more about her childhood. She was an outdoors girl, grew up in South Florida. Her dad had a camp in the Everglades. She rode the Honda mini trails and the ATVs and horses and swamp buggies and all that stuff. So she was not afraid to get her hands dirty. She had a pet raccoon for years and all that stuff. So she was kind of like my Ellie Mae. And when we met, it was funny because not long after we met, we had someone come up to us in the mall and just stop us and go, "Man, you guys look happy." And we looked at each other, and for the first time, I think, in a long time for both of us, we just said at the same time, we are happy. That was an epiphany for both of us. And not long after that, we got married. Coach Vic got pregnant on her honeymoon, and life moved on. Now, a little bit about the motorcycle side of it. I had always ridden motorcycles in my lifetime. I probably had a dozen or so, and I could go down the list. It's everything from the little mini trails to, I think my first real street bike was a Kawasaki. In fact, it was a Kawasaki KZ400. Then I had some enduros and dirt bikes, and had the Katana 1100 and a GS750, a Sika 550. I had my Harley Softail, a couple of Sportsters, a few things like that. And I'd kind of lost the motorcycle Jones, but during my motorcycle riding periods, plural, Coach Vic also, we bought her a little trike, and it was pretty awesome. It was a little Honda Shadow 900, the Ace, the American Classic Edition, and it had been converted to a trike, and she rode it, and things started getting a little more complicated around here. She developed carpal tunnel, and life got a little more challenging, and so she decided to sell hers. I continued to ride for several years, and enjoyed my riding experience. And then one day, for an unknown reason, I parked my Harley in the corner of my garage, and I let it sit. And there it sat for a few years. It's kind of a tragedy, as a matter of fact. It just wasted away. But I knew it was time to get rid of it. So with great trepidation, I decided to get rid of it. And let me tell you, I took a beating on it because I had neglected it. Swore I'd never do that again too. Hopefully I won't do that. You try not to make the same mistake twice. But I had this fear that if I ever get rid of this motorcycle, I'm never going to ride again. And being I'd ridden my whole life, I had not been without a motorcycle at all. And so it was an odd feeling watching that thing leave my home on someone's trailer. So fast forward 2 years later, and it's the summer of 2018, and I start getting that feeling again. It's time to ride. I started watching YouTube channels like the Mandolin Flyer and Shade Tree Surgeon and things like that, and Stuart Fillingham. And I love those guys. They're really intelligent people, very thorough. And I got those feelings. It's time to ride again. But I knew I wanted to do something different, and I didn't think touring was going to be a part of it. So I wanted to get something with a little more power and something that I would just get out and I would ride by myself, because Vicky had made it abundantly clear that she was not remotely interested in the motorcycle thing. And honestly, she was somewhat frowning upon the fact that I was going to move back in that direction. But being the supportive wife that she is, she's like, hey Bob, you know, if you want to buy it, you go ahead and do it. So I looked. I found a new old stock Triumph Speed Triple. It was a 2015 model that had been sitting on the showroom floor for 3 years. In fact, I bought it in December of 18, so in 3 weeks it was going to be a 4-year-old motorcycle that was brand new. I made the dealer a low-ball offer. He reluctantly accepted, and the rest is history. I bought the Triple, and it has been an amazing machine. Well, then things, of course, start changing even a little bit more. I decided once my son moved, or was going to move, to San Diego, California, I made the silly decision that the things I do, that I was going to go out to California from Tallahassee, Florida on a motorcycle. So I talked to Coach Vic and I said, hey, are you interested in doing this? And she said, absolutely no. So I had figured I'm going to buy a sport tourer and started looking, and had decided that I was going to get the Yamaha FJR 1300, an amazing motorcycle that I felt I could certainly cross this continent on. Well, one day I had talked to my daughter about possibly riding 2-up with me to California. It was at that moment everything changed. Coach Vic actually got a little jealous. You're going to take her, she said? And I'm like, you said you didn't want to go. Well, the next morning she decided, I want to go. So I told her, well, the motorcycle just got more expensive, and I'm thinking Goldwing. So we looked at the Goldwings, and I really liked them. I'm going to tell you, I liked them a lot. But she did not feel comfortable riding on the back of a two-wheeled motorcycle anymore. The lean angles made her very uncomfortable due to her paralysis, and she said that if it's going to be that, it was a no-go. I'm going to pause our story here because we're about to show up to a very cool place called Lake Miccosukee. It's basically a fish camp where we're going, and it's beautiful. It's very marshy. You know, it's funny. I have friends that are my more northern friends, and they go, man, that looks like a great place for a picnic. And I'm thinking, man, that looks like a bunch of gators and moccasins. We just see completely different things. But this is a wonderful place. We like to come down here on days where we might be a little stressed. It's a 15-20 minute ride from our house. And we just pull right up here, man, and just enjoy the scenery. So look at it with us here, and we'll continue in just a minute.
Water. So we get a John boat come out here. It's our next to do. Picture of the water?
Huh?
You got a picture of everything?
Yeah. Huh?
Do one more loop. I saw those trailers.
Those might. No, I don't think so. Some of them are, but like those aren't.
Yeah. See, I'd like to get John boat come out here. I love it out here. Heck yeah. All abandoned. Oh, there's a car back there.
Well, people live in those now.
Wow.
It appeared the Goldwing was a no-go. The FJR was a no-go. And the only way that it was going to be a go-go was to get Coach Vic on something that was more stable. So a trike seemed to be in our future. I knew from everything I'd ever ridden, I just didn't want a conventional trike. I didn't like the way it pushed the front tire. It just felt unnerving to me. So we went to Jacksonville, Florida, and we test rode a Can-Am Spyder. Now, I will tell you, I was absolutely adamantly opposed to getting a Can-Am Spyder. I did not want one. In fact, it's one of the few vehicles I said, I will never buy one of those goofy things. We rode it and she loved it. I was still a little lukewarm, but I was like, if that's the difference between her going and not going, then we need to do this. So my perception of things had to change, and I knew that this was the only way I was going to get Coach Vic out there, and that was the most important thing to me at that moment in time. I didn't realize what was going to happen to me, that I was going to become a fan of this machine that I'm now riding on and I'm nuts about. And I am nuts about it. It is amazing the amount of comments and conversation and friendships that appear to be starting as a result of this Can-Am Spyder. It really is the coolest thing ever. I have people stopping me everywhere I go, wanting to know what it is and wanting to learn more about it. As I was saying, people are just interested. I had a guy yesterday at the bank. He's like, man, if I get one of these, maybe my wife will ride with me. He said he was going to check out the YouTube channel and have her watch some of the videos with him in order to convince her. Man, I hope it works for him. Well, that's the video this week. I hope you found it enjoyable. And if you like this content, please share and subscribe. We are trying to make the channel grow. It is pretty fun. We're having a great time. So until next time, go out, enjoy your life, eat right, take care of yourself, and seize the day. God bless.